And it's 10 a.m. right here in Lagos, Nigeria. Beautiful Boxing Day morning. Good morning, good evening. Wherever in the world you're watching from, it's Business Morning live on Channels Television. Hope you got a gift. And also, hope you gave something, to your loved ones, your friends, your colleagues. And, giving comes in all shades. You can go out there, show love, love the unlovable, and just be happy and give gifts all over the place. Great to have you join us. Let's kick off now with some stories here. We see the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has warned that the planned supplementary budget by the federal government will, amongst other consequences, cause economic shocks in the coming year. That's for 2023. The LCCI noted implications of this massive borrowing by the government to the economy are enormous, including crowding out credit to the private sector, increasing the cost of debt servicing, and making the economy more vulnerable to unforeseeable shocks in the election year. A few days to the end of 2022, the federal government plans to add about 819.5 billion supplementary budget for critical infrastructure projects to be financed from domestic borrowing. We'll keep tracking that story. And talking about the holidays, I spent the Christmas with the Oyewole family in Lagos to gauge how much of the Christmas feeling is obtainable this year, as 2022 has been characterized with so many economic issues globally, from inflation to the tightening process. Well, let's see how it went. Let's check out my visit right now on Business Morning. Do take a listen.
Hello.
It's Christmas, a jolly season, a time to give gifts and enjoy time with family. And the Oyewoles were gracious enough to let me into their home to get a feel of how the average family feels about Christmas this year with sky-high inflation.
Quite an incredible season, and it'd be nice to visit beautiful families like
2022 was a tough year for businesses in Nigeria, and I spoke with Mr. Oluwaseun Oyewole, a serial entrepreneur and CEO at Errand.ng, a logistics company in Lagos, about how his business fared this year.
Particularly in Nigeria, because of the peculiarity of our country, it's been a tough one. Let me be honest with you. Business-wise, we've had to make some tough decisions, especially as it relates to our spending. So we've made a lot of adjustment as far as spending is concerned and budgeting and all of that. So, we have a shrink budget, in 2022 compared to even 2021. So it's been really tough. I tell you, we reduce our staff strength, staff capacity by all standard. I think it's to about 30%, from what it was in 2021. We reduced our staff strength, and just to be able to cope with the reality of things. We couldn't do a pay cut, because already, what the staff were earning, or what they were earning in 2021, is not even enough, to cope with the high inflation rates, in the current year. And so we felt as a business it would not be fair to cut pay when what they're currently earning is not even enough to cater for for their needs. So the best we could do was to lay off. And as a matter of fact, we needed to even slightly increase and then introduce some little allowances, just to be able to cope with the for them to be able to at least cope with the inflation rate in the country. So it's been tough as a business.
With rising food prices in Nigeria, Mr. Oyewole talked about home budgeting, as Mrs. Oyewole was unavoidably absent.
On family front, we also have, things, we made some adjustments, tough ones, but then, especially in terms of what is it called, grocery. I thank God I have a wife who is pretty understanding, and then who could actually, manage things. There are things we could not change. For instance, the kids' school fees. The schools increased an education is primary, so that's, you know, you can't touch that, you know. But the thing we could touch, we could adjust. We made adjustments on them, especially at the home front, you know. But then it's been tough, and we're here still standing and hoping that things get better in come 2023. So it's been tough, you know. That's just what I can say. But hey, with positive mindset, you know, either on the front side or on the side of the business and also on the family side, we're still standing, and by the grace of God, we're here.
Thank you.
You can see closer.
Apparently, the kids are good at playing chess, so I got them to teach me a few moves, and they told me how they're spending their Christmas.
Last Christmas was fun for me because I had just come out of secondary school, so I was very happy. But this year was really stressful for me, so I'm not really as happy as I was last year. I'm hoping to go out to my family, my siblings, because I didn't spend time with them this year, so I'm hoping we'll like spend more time together this Christmas. My mom, my dad, and see some other friends I didn't see this year at all. Yes.
As 2022 winds down, it is hoped that businesses and households have it easier in 2023, and we can truly have a white Christmas. With the Oyewole family, and I do give them a shout out for letting me into their home to spend Christmas with them. Well, to our first conversation now, it's Boxing Day, and in Nigeria, the Christmas gift hamper business is always in high demand between December and mid-February till next year. Let's get a sense of how the gifting business is faring this holiday. Let's talk now to Omowale Ola Odusoya, CEO, Simply Unique Hampers. Join us right here in the studio. Great to have you.
Hi.
Happy Boxing Day. And we have a hamper here, definitely from you.
Yes.
And it looks good. I see a lot of things in here. I see wine. What else is in here?
We have toothpaste dispenser, makeup kits,
Right.
bed sheet,
A bed
wall
sheet.
clock, yes.
Nice.
Wall clock, few other things.
And
inside.
I see honey. I see
Yes,
a lot
there's
of
honey inside, there's jam,
yes,
there's
nice.
oil, there's something
So
for
many
every section.
edibles there, and I'm sure there's chocolate somewhere in there.
Yes,
Quite
there is.
And I love, you know, digging into these baskets because you don't know what you could find. You
inside.
just keep finding, you know, nice things you pick out. So looking at this basket now, how much does this cost?
This is actually 60,000. This particular one.
60,000 naira.
Yes.
Okay. And obviously, I know they have some also high-end, you know,
Yes.
baskets.
Yes.
How high do they come?
300,000. There's 300,000. There's 500,000.
500,000
Yes,
naira.
there is like that.
So it just goes, you know, as
Depends on what's inside.
What's, you know,
yes,
inside.
and
So,
the packaging.
exactly. So looking at this basket now, how much did this cost, say, in 2021?
2021, this was like 45,000.
45,000.
45,000, yes, that's 2021. But this year now, you can see the way things are already.
Right.
So that's why it's like 60, 70.
60, 70,000 for this now.
Yes.
So that's a big move from about 45,000
to 60,
to about 60K. That's a lot of money. And what's the, you know, process like, you know, putting this together?
Very stressful. Very, very stressful.
Break it down for us.
Okay, first of all, you have to make a list of what you want. After making your list, then you go from place to place to get them. You don't buy them one by one, especially when you have bulk order. Buying them one by one will make you lose money somehow. So you want to go to where they make wholesales and buy them, you know, in bulk like that. And doing that, you have to go from one shop to the other. Maybe go to the island, come back, go to Pack and Shop, you know, get some things, come back like that. And
So you go to different brands to get, you know, different shops to get all of this,
Yep.
you know, put together. How do you tailor it, you know, to the kind of a customer you have? Like, how do you, gauge, okay, this is what I should put in for this customer or that?
Okay, the thing is, some clients tell you what they want. Some you tell them what you have. Some tell you, okay, can we mix it? Some buy your idea because it's cool. Some don't. Like this particular mine, the way I do mine is, I hardly use stuff that are edible. Because most of the time people don't eat them, and if you don't look well, you see expired things inside. Yes.
So that's one risk.
Yes.
Okay.
That's provision. So most of the time I like using things you see at home. Wall clock, you can always have that. Things, mug and all those things, you have that.
So
and
things that you would actually use.
Yes. And then few things like oil, okay, no problem. Custard, Kellogg's and all that, no problem. You can do all that. Just listen. And some tell you, we don't want all that. We just want provision, which is very difficult at times because you need to explain to them that, see, even in the market, they change dates of expiry dates, they change them and you don't want to do all that. But at times they listen to you, at times they don't. You just have to use your brain.
You have to use your brain. Well, let's go back now. Can you compare demand from 2021 compared to now? What's demand like this season?
Well, I'll speak for myself in this one.
Right.
2021 wasn't really good. Demand was very low, very, very low.
So that means we're comparing 2021 to 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
And 2022?
Right.
Demand was very, very low, 2021. You hear people say, there's no money in the company, there's no money. Our customers will understand, there's no money, stuff like that. And like 2021, it wasn't good. It wasn't really good. Things weren't moving at all. Like, I don't even want to go to 2020.
Oh, so 2020 was even
worse. Yes.
Wow.
So what I'm trying to say is this year, somehow better.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yes. It's somehow better. Yes, very interesting because you expect it to go worse, right? But it wasn't. It didn't go like that, and it's still not going like that. It's somehow better. Can I take you back to 20?
You can take me all the way back.
19 or something.
You can take me.
Okay, then you see people giving hamper and rice and oil. Hamper, rice, oil, hamper, rice. 2020, there was nothing. Yeah, last year, there was just, madam, can I have something of 15K? Which was very difficult. Very, very difficult. And no rice, nothing, but something of 15K, and they just want provision. And you just have to do it. You have to just go out of your way to do it. That went off like that. And the same people that came last year, coming this year, tell you, madam, I want hamper, and tell them, no 15K this year. And they tell you, okay, how much is it? Tell them, 25K. And they'll be like, okay, no problem, I want it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Wow. So people are ready to take on, whatever price you actually give them at this time.
Yes, because they see what's going on. They see that it's everywhere. Things have changed, prices and everything. So you tell them, that same thing you got, okay, it might be just a few changes, like add few things to it, but it's now 25K. Because things you see for 1.5 are probably 2.5, 3K now. You get? So this year, 15K of last year is now 25K of this year. Do you get? Just like I said, 45K now.
Exactly.
But people want it. Because they were happy about the one you did last year, I did for them last year, and they want a better one this year. So
interestingly, for 2022, demand was better for you.
Yes.
Compared to 2021
far better.
And 2020. That's quite interesting. And this is when we have, sky-high inflation, globally, but people are ready, to pay whatever you give them at this time.
Yes.
Quite interesting. So looking at the logistics, because coming here this morning, and even yesterday, I saw, a lot of cars, queuing for fuel. And it's the same thing I'm seeing this morning. How is that, impacting your business?
Queuing for fuel and this.
Because there's obviously a logistics angle.
Yes. Especially, when we're done at times, they want us to deliver it for them or bring it to the company. Now we charge them. We have to. Normally there's something, we say, okay, we're bringing it to your company. We already added the money to the hamper we're making to each box. But if we're going to dispatch it for you, you have to pay separately for that. Do you understand what I'm saying? You pay separately. Maybe.
So let's take, for instance, you're sending this from, let's say, the island to the mainland.
Where on
What's
the
the
island?
average cost? Let's say, okay, yeah, the island is huge. Let me not go as far as Ajah.
Okay.
Let me say Lekki Phase 1
Okay.
to, say, Ikeja. What's the cost like?
I sent one yesterday, actually.
Okay.
7,000 naira.
7,000 naira.
Yes.
And the customer will actually, have to bear that cost outside,
Yes.
the price.
Because it's not easy getting somebody reliable to go and deliver. Not easy at all. You know what's going on in the,
Yeah, I've seen some videos on social media where the delivery person ends up eating some of the meat from, and obviously this is...
So they can remove something and you won't even know.
Wow.
It's not easy getting, and then this full stuff made it even harder. So 7,000 naira to Lekki, and on each basket.
Each basket?
Yes, maybe 4 different places, 4 different baskets, but same Lekki. You get but different places in Lekki, so 7, 7, 7, 7, 7.
So obviously logistics is definitely impacted, and that's obviously adding, to the cost going forward. Well, let's talk about organizations now.
Okay.
Yeah, have they been demanding gift baskets to give out to their clients this year?
Yes, they have, and the way it happened this year is different, and well, I'm grateful to God, because there are times you go to companies and they tell you, we're not doing, sorry, we're not doing. But because of the people I did for last year, when they see something good, some people know. So I was referred to by people I supplied for last year. They referred me to another. So that's how it has been coming this year.
Referrals are really good.
That's how it has been coming this year. That's how it has been coming. So just hello.
I guess that's why they call you the Hamper King.
Yes.
Even though you're supposed to be a queen, I
Okay.
guess. All right. Looking at this business, generally, how lucrative is it?
Very. Very.
So, what kind of revenue are we talking about here? Because it's obviously a seasonal business.
Where do I start from?
You could just start from how much your profit.
No, I'm not starting from there. Because you have to get people, you have to pay people you work for, It's, I don't know how to put it, but you need to be wise, smart in doing it, else you lose. Like the first one I did, there was really nothing profitable in it, but I just had to do it because someone referred me and they were expecting something good, but I was able to pay my workers.
So sometimes you just break even.
I was able to pay my workers, and at the end of the day, I didn't really make anything, but I was grateful because they referred me again to another. So from the next person they referred me to, let me give you an example. I could give someone this for 45K. And that's because you're just meeting me for the first time and you pleaded and you want it in large quantity. And I'd be like, okay. And after that, you now refer me to another person and I size you up and I'd be like, okay, this is 65K. So the money I didn't make from the first one, I probably make it from the second one. You get?
Right. So there's sometimes differential prices, for different people. Quite interesting. So what would you say to somebody trying to, venture into this kind of business, right now? Or looking at maybe next year, like I'm going to go full on into hamper making?
Well, I'll support the person. I'll tell you, you need to have the strength to do it. Grace and strength. It's not something easy. At times, you have clients telling you, we'll pay you now, and we want it tomorrow. You have to go to the market. You have to have sleepless nights. Do it. And they want it as early as possible. So at times, 5 a.m., you're out of the house, going to deliver. So if you don't have the strength, you won't be able to carry on. You need to have the strength to do it because you're causing yourself sleepless nights and all that.
So you need to be ready. You need to
So
work on your
over-ready,
stamina to
over-ready.
actually go into this business.
Yes.
I can imagine. All right, so we're going into 2023. Obviously, different forecasts where we're getting, economically for 2023. But what is your expectation for Christmas 2023?
2023.
Yeah. What do you see?
I don't know. I just have this feeling 2023 will be far, far better.
Okay.
I don't know, but I know I have this feeling.
You have a gut feeling.
I have it like to be far, far because it keeps getting better. 2020 was bad. 2021 was bad. 22 good. So I just have this feeling and this faith.
You have faith that it's going to be better. And I do wish you luck,
Thank you very
in
much.
your business. And obviously, I'm gonna dig into this, later on, see what goodies I can get in there. I want to thank you so much, Omo Waliola Odusoya, CEO, Simply Unique Hampers, and AKA
Hamper King.
Hamper King.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming
You're
on today, and
welcome.
thank you for bringing this beautiful hamper to us. All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we're gauging the resilience of the average Nigerian consumer this Christmas. That's our next conversation. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Now to our next conversation. With food inflation an all-time high right now, Nigerians are paying more to buy food items, and demand does get high, during the holidays. Let's get a sense of how resilient the average consumer is this Christmas. Now we have Jibrin Mohammed, Head Supplier Logistics, Lagos State International Food Market, join us via Zoom. Great to have you in the program. Compliments of the season.
Yeah, compliment of the season, Mr. Ladi. Good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you. So tell me, in a nutshell, how resilient, was the average shopper this Christmas?
Well, we can say it's brilliant now because the buying is actually low due to high cost of commodities, but the availability of these products is at its peak right now. So we are having actually challenges in terms of patronage from consumers complaining about hike in food products, but I think there is high availability of these products.
So availability is also, a concern, at this time. But paint a picture for me, compared to last year, 2021 Christmas season there, how was it, compared to 2022?
It has actually decelerated because you find out the influx is very low. People are complaining, and most of these products need to be sold at a profitable rate. So if a farmer cannot sell to have a profit, no way he can be able to go back to his farming and produce more to the consumers. So the buying this year is very low compared to last year due to this increase in food pricing.
And obviously, Jibrin, I spoke to you, earlier this year. That was for the Easter holiday. How much have prices risen since then for food items?
About 40%.
40%?
About 40% from April, because when you look at it, we have like 3 quarters in terms of food production. We can say from October to January, this is the peak at which you have varieties of food products all over the country because it is post-harvest period. So when you look at from February to May, which I think February to May, which April falls into, is a season where you don't have much product on ground. A lot of availability, most people have already acquired what they want to acquire. And when you look at from June to October, this is the farming period. So at that period, it was at high price compared to this period. It's actually lesser during this period compared to April, during the Easter period. Yet you find out the influx is very low due to the inflation, though the inflation was not high during the Easter period. So you find a lot of inflation now. So it has really affected the buying of these products from the market.
Would you say it's the same issues, that drove prices up the other time that's still, playing into the market right now?
Yeah, it's almost a same issue all the time, which this issue needs to be addressed, because if it's not being addressed, it will still skyrocket to an unexpected time. Because when you look at what we are having now, you find out you buy products during the April period at the rate of maybe 5,000, and this period also you are still buying those products at the rate of 4,000. But you see that people are not patronizing. Yet I think there's the surface of there's no money in circulation. A lot of complaints. You find traders complaining, no market. So I think the government needs to come in and intervene into this problem we are facing.
Thinking at this time, but what would you say, if you break it down what would you say is a lasting solution to adopt to, reduce this high cost?
Okay, we have agricultural development project, I think, which the peasant farmer don't even know about. We have some policies also guiding this agriculture, which I think even it's not about the federal government intervention alone. The state will have to review their agricultural policies, because there are programs that the state needs to be given the local farmers, not just only at the federal level. The state needs to come in also and help the local farmers to orient them and provide facilities, which is one of the major things they are lacking, facilities. And apart from facilities, there are some microeconomic factors that is affecting issue of production, and which leads to inflation of food pricing, such as, I can say, transportation, which is one of the major issue. And secondly, I would say issue of fertilizer, issue of labor, and issue of herbicide also. These products have increased with barely about 100%, some about 130%. So if I'm buying my fertilizer at the rate of 15,000 last year, and this year I'm buying my fertilizer at the rate of 28,000. So what do you expect from me? Definitely there will be an increase. There will be an increase in product. And apart from being an increase in product, there's another challenge which we are facing for the farmers. In terms of post-harvest period here, the farmers are having a serious challenge. They have no choice than to what? Bring out their product and sell. Because this product need to be sold. If they are not sold, they lose. Because there is no any mechanism for them to be able to store their products. Definitely, the only choice they have is just to sell them at a giveaway price. Most of these farmers at this post-harvest period even tend to lose more than the consumers. You understand? So it's a sign of a concern for the farmers and the consumers also. Let the government look into the right channel, talk to the right stakeholders, at least initiate a program which it will reach to the local farmers.
Looking around Lagos today, we see, at the filling stations, the queues are there. So I'm wondering how you logistics guys managing at this period?
Yeah, like I said, logistics is one of the major problems, because there's an increase about, let me say, 200% increase, moving this product from one location to another, moving it from the farm to the selling point. You have about 200% increase, not even 100%. So definitely is a challenge for farmers. Like, this thing affects more of the farmer, because the farmer has no choice. He has to bring down his product so that he can make back his money. If not, this product deteriorates, this product lose markets, and no appropriate storage for him to be able to save up. So issue of diesel, which has been a very serious issue, which is what we use mostly. The diesel issue is even uncontrollable. So we have no choice than just to go with the way the situation is.
And are there any new ideas or, ideas coming up, to help, bridge this logistics gap for moving, foods around markets? Is anyone coming up?
Yes, there are ideas and there are suggestions which we think, if implemented, it will not only solve issue of logistics, it will even solve issue of food prices. Because food crisis, I think, is one of the major reasons why people are complaining in terms of spending, because it's an essential. Everybody has to take something in every day. So when this food inflation is being controlled, I think it will help everyone. But the intervention and the implementation of this thing has to do by the government, maybe non-government organizations, and especially the Ministry of Agri. They need to look well inwardly into what's there's our policies. They are even trying. At least this government have done a lot in terms of agriculture. I think this is the only government that invests massively in agriculture. We are seeing changes. Let me take an instance for rice. There's a serious reverse in terms of rice. Rice have actually accelerated to a very good outcome. You see companies springing up. The association has tried, but they need to do something more. For instance, now there's a lot of issue of flooding this year, which has affected a lot of rice farmers, which I don't think, you don't expect rice to be at which it is right now, because it's very expensive now. You find rice at the rate of 38,000, 35,000. At a post-harvest period here now, you need to find rice at the rate of 25,000, lesser than 30,000. But due to this issue of flooding, that's why we talk about this agricultural development project that should come in. And let's look for a way to shocking, if issues like this comes up, what are the solutions that they can bring? So the government needs to talk to the right stakeholders, look at these peasant farmers, because they are the one holding everything that has to do with agriculture, put them into consideration, provide facilities for them. I think it's a way forward.
Right. I guess everyone has to lift their own weight, at this time to make sure that we're actually food secure going into 2023, and that we can have a white Christmas, that's for 2023. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Jibrin Mohammed, Head Supply Logistics, Lagos State Food Market. It was great having you today. And compliments on the season.
Thank you.
All right, so now let's move on. We know the markets are closed today, but we have some information, and we have Will here. Will is the elf bringing us the market data.
Yeah, little elf me.
Little elf.
Heidi, laddie, good morning.
Good morning. Compliments of the season.
Compliments, laddie. So it was good news for the markets. We closed bullish, really strong last week.
Very strong.
So yeah, so I think Santa and I really did a good job last week.
Yeah.
So it should be commended.
So we call that the Santa rally.
Yes, the Santa rally we really
been
waiting for. We didn't get that last year, but we're getting it this year, and so it's a good.
I'm sure other markets will be so jealous right now.
Of course.
Global markets, global equities markets.
They are having an
crypto markets.
Crypto markets.
So jealous.
So jealous right now. It's like the Nigerian market is acting so on a different scale, on a different level, and we're wondering what's pushing it, what's driving it. But definitely we can't really explain what happens in the Nigerian NGX market. But we'll see how investors take on this sentiment, if they take it on to the next year or after the holidays, if they continue this bullish trend.
And with the domestic investors, they're stealing the shine
right
now in the market.
Yes, but if we'll have with the promises coming in about the FX policy change, if that happens, probably we'll see more FPIs, more foreign portfolio investors come in, and that will also boost our FX supply. That we'll talk about. And speaking of FX, that's what we're going to start off with right now. And we're looking at FX trading activity at the FMDQ exchange, which was mostly positive. Last week, we saw the total turnover rise by 7.34% there, and that brought it to about $1.15 billion to close last week. Now, however, we saw that total value of transactions at the FX spot market, which is the I&E window, fell by 13.07% to $735.71 million. While transactions at the FX derivatives market, we saw that up over 83% to close at 417.8%. We wonder what's really going on there, what's driving it, because as the CBN governor said recently that there's been zero, record in the coffers from oil production or oil exports. But we wonder what's really pushing that, because they've had 15 consecutive weeks of decline. Now, we're seeing the Naira. If we look at the Naira, we'll say that the Naira fell last week further by 1.16% to close at 452 Naira 76 kobo against the dollar at the NAFEX window. Now, when compared to last week's close, if we're going to have the Naira, this thing up there, so when compared to last week's close of 447 Naira 58 kobo, we see that there's still a gap to be filled when we talk about the Naira, the exchange rate against the dollar. We're hoping that this gap is breached very soon. But Caleb will give us insights as to why we're seeing a boost in the FX space, in the liquidity there, and hoping that this trend continues and it's not just a dead cat bounce, as we see in most cases. So, Caleb, good morning. Caleb is a fixed income dealer, FSDH merchant bank. Caleb, good morning and compliments of the season.
Good morning, Will. Compliments of the season as well.
Caleb, the FX reserves, as I was talking, made a U-turn last week. We saw it recording its first increase. Now, this is after 15 consecutive weeks of sustained downtrend. What do you think is contributing to this boost?
I think, first of all, it's important to also highlight that the increase is not significant. It's just about $13 million. So that we can't say there's a particular U-turn in that place. I think I would like to pick up from what you said, being it could be a dead cat bounce, it could be a reason of rebalancing, it could be several reasons, but it's not a significant increase for us to begin to get excited about.
So what do you think will happen in the, we saw that there was a drop in the FX spot market. Do you think is the relative boost or uptick we saw in the FX reserve that's causing that? Or what do you think, what would you attribute this drop to?
Not exactly. The drop in volumes can be attributed to, partial closure of some businesses and general winding down of businesses in the Yuletide season. So generally in December, we often see that the total volume of transactions on the spot market, continues to decline, as some companies would have closed for the year, other companies will run partial services, thus affecting, the demand and supply of FX in the spot market.
Do you think there might be a turnaround, especially now we're attributing it to the Yuletide season, but do you think after the Yuletide, the holidays, do you think there'll be a jump in this? Do you see that happening?
Absolutely. We expect that to happen come January. Expect most businesses will open fully for operations and looking forward to a prosperous 2023. So we will definitely see a boost in activities in that space. There'll be plenty of, there'll be increased volumes in that space, basically.
Okay, so speaking of increased volume, we've seen that Treasury bills market has maintained bullish sentiment all through last week. Yields has been dropping in that space. What would you think is driving this?
It's interesting because we saw yields decline at the last NTB or primary auction by about 300 basis points, and that's largely due to the amount on offer. You had the previous auction, we had close to 100 billion on offer, and then the last auction, we had just about 13 billion on offer in total size. So you have quite a market had been buoyant for a while. System liquidity had been buoyant for a while. So you have all of that cash chasing very few securities, and that's why we've seen that bullish sentiment. Banks continue to look for assets to buy, investors continue to look for assets to buy. And so with very little on supply, demand outweighing supply, we continue to see yields decline.
Speaking of which, now we've seen the federal government, that's Buhari, the president of Nigeria, asking formally the Senate to approve the securitization of the ways and means advances from the Central Bank of Nigeria. It's a tune of 23 trillion naira. It's at an interest rate of 9% for 40 years, and there's going to be a 3-year moratorium on the principal repayment. How do you think that will play out for investors? How do you think they're going to welcome that?
A 30, 40-year paper at 9%, nobody's happy with that. It feels like a strong arming of the investors by the government, but it's better than it's running at zero. So it depends on how you're looking at it. Ways and means have been running at zero for a while, and now it's going to become a 30-year paper at 9%. At least you get to, the nation gets to earn something on it, from that perspective. So aside looking at it from that view, I don't think it's much of a significant impact on the investors. But when those papers come to the market will price it appropriately. There is no 30-year paper that is trading at that sort of rate. You'd expect that market will price it around the 15, 16% or thereabout.
So do you think that, speaking of which, this central bank, you're talking about investors probably pricing it appropriately, but do you think this is going to be a win for the central bank? Because getting the money back at 9%, is it going to be a win for the central bank? Or do you think they would find a way of, because if the securities get into the market, hit the market, and the investors are asking for higher yields, how do you think the central bank is going to deal with this?
I mean, it's a win for the central bank. Like I said, those loans were running at 0% before, and them now earning 9% on it. That's a big jump, right? So for the central bank, it is a win, but for investors will definitely demand the higher rate. And by the time it's trading in the secondary markets, the central bank has already gotten the bulk of it, right? So it's just secondary market players moving money from one investor to the other that will then price it appropriately.
Okay, so we'll go on a quick break, Caleb. We'll come back and just hold your thoughts. Don't go away. We're going to continue this conversation right after the break. This is Business Morning. Welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning, and we're talking with Caleb Alimi, fixed income dealer at FSDH Merchant Bank, analyzing what was going on last week in the markets, in the FX space and fixed income markets. Now, Caleb, are you still with me?
Very much with you.
Great, Caleb. Now, we're talking about the central bank, and then still on the central bank. We're saying that there's been some inflow of old notes in exchange for the, the redesigned notes. How has that eased liquidity in the market? Do you think there's been some easing as regards to that?
Initially I mentioned that system liquidity had been a bit boosted over the last, say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or thereabouts. But we cannot tie directly to the influx of fresh monies or monies that have been stacked under the beds into the banking system. We can't tie directly. What we as bankers can see is over the last 2-3 weeks there's been less CRR debits, before FAC allocations came in. So we've seen that the CBN has been a bit more lenient with the CRR debits, and that has sort of boosted system liquidity up until Friday, when after FAC was allocated and then the regular CRR debits came in, which was very huge. Before then, we cannot tie directly the influx of old Naira notes into the banking system to have significantly improved system liquidity.
So now we just want to go quick one before you go, Caleb. How do you think the market is going to close on Wednesday when we're back from the holidays? Quick one.
I mean, it's a short week. It's a short end to the year. I think the market will remain bullish as banks and other investors continue to seek where to plug idle cash.
So just to put it in context, yields will keep dropping.
Correct.
Thanks so much, Caleb Alimi, fixed income dealer, FSDH Merchant Bank, for sharing your thoughts with us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
So, Ladi, here we have it. So
yields will keep
dropping. So I don't know if fixed income space is the best bet at the moment. So should we run to the equities market?
Well, as an investor right now, it's a really tough time. You don't know where to go.
We don't know.
In these markets. You just, I know do nothing is something.
Do nothing is something?
Yeah.
Okay, just
do nothing.
Wait, do nothing, but do you put your money somewhere and do nothing? Or do you just hold on to your money?
You just maybe hold on to your money. That's also a move, investing. And I hope you're ready for second round of eating today.
Oh.
Festivity eating. Hope you're ready. I hope you're not thinking about the diet or any of that.
No. I'm good. I'm fine, laddie.
You're fine,
so I'm just going to have that buffet we planned.
You're going to have the buffet?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was Will there giving us the market details. So now let's move on to other markets now, talking about the crypto space. We're not seeing a Santa rally in that market, not yet. It's still fear. If you look at the sentiment in the market there, fear greed index, 28 points. Fear, we're 30 points before now, but now inching deeper into the 20 region at this point. Let's look at the market cap this morning, $811.26 billion. That's up 0.05%. And we see the volume traded this morning, 37.43%. We know the crypto market doesn't sleep, trades 24 hours, 7 days, even on holidays. Bitcoin dominance, 40.01%, back on that 40% level. Let's look at the price of Bitcoin this morning now. We see it's trading at about $16,872. That's the Bitcoin price, up 0.24%. We're seeing a marginal increase this morning for Bitcoin. But let's do some kind of throwback now. Talking about the price of Bitcoin, let's look at the historical Christmas closing prices for Bitcoin. Let's see where Bitcoin was. If we go back, let's go back now. Let's go back. Let's go to about 2016. We have a 2016 there. Yeah, so Christmas of 2016, Bitcoin was trading at $899 per coin. And flip over to 2017 Christmas there, $13,500. So we saw a bullish move from 2016 Christmas to 2017. Then for 2018, we saw a massive pullback there, $4,005 Christmas Day. That was the price of Bitcoin. Then move on to 2019, we saw an upward move there to $7,255. Let's flip over now to other time frames. Talking about 2020 there, Christmas, $23,729. That was the price of Bitcoin there for 2020 Christmas. Then flip over to 2021 when we had the massive move there. Bitcoin was $50,820 per coin. Then fast forward today, and that was yesterday actually, 2022, $16,760. Big drop from what we had in 2021. Let's bring in Gilbert Jopata now, financial market analyst. Hello, Gilbert.
Hello, Mr. Laddie. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and happy Boxing Day, Gilbert. I'm sure you saw, the different Christmas prices, that we've had, from 2016 there. But it does go, even way back. But looking at this Christmas, how has Bitcoin performed, in your opinion?
Okay, comparing Bitcoin's price in 2021 and 2022 even goes beyond price for me because as at this time last year, when Bitcoin sold at about the 50K zone, we were at the resistance of a bull market cycle, while today it sits at about the near bottom of the bear market, which is the resistance zone of the 2017 and 18 bull market. I know, unfortunately, we are not seeing the typical Santa Claus rally, which we always see, but we lack this volatility, and the market cap has retraced to at about its bottom because presently we lack an independent market driver since the market is heavily controlled by macroeconomics, which if you look at the large macroeconomic uncertainty with what is still happening in the market, upgrade of technology, more like regulatory framework, I think that the market is doing well. And we still have, I know we may still have some bottom zone to test and then a short-term price surge towards the 25, 26K, which could give us a double bottom before we have a full market recovery, which will probably be heavily triggered by the 2024 halving, which on its own now is an independent driver in the market for full recovery.
All right, so, looking at where we are now, price action movement, every Christmas, let's put price away. How has the tech improved since then?
Oh, if we are looking at technology, the tech keep getting better and better by the day. We see what is happening with Bitcoin Lightning, with the Lightning network. You pay little as kobo for transaction cost. And Bitcoin Lightning is heavily used here in Africa, in Nigeria, especially in Ghana. Ghanaians are heavily taking advantage of this upgrade in technology happening. The ecosystem is becoming bigger and better. More persons are adopting this technology, not just as a currency, They're also using it as a store of value. We have also seen institutional investors heavily push themselves into the market with the last bull run. So there is a large technology advancement. We also see large, more persons in the ecosystem now, just beyond retail investors. And I will also tell you about the maximalists, which is like more like, I would say, religious cults that protect the realm of the ecosystem. The network is better. Fundamentally, we are better than we have been in the past year market.
Yeah, I'm sure the Bitcoin maxis will actually think that. But let's bring it down now to the decentralized exchange. We see 1inch, a decentralized exchange there, launched a major upgrade fusion there. How does it work?
Okay, the Fusion is a very interesting upgrade. It comes with a combination of the old technology and the new technology. You know, first of all, macroeconomic uncertainty has pushed a couple of persons into using Bitcoin, like we even saw in the UK. While because of the collapse of centralized exchange like FTX, has pushed a lot of persons now into moving their assets into decentralized wallet, and the increase of use also in decentralized exchanges. So this upgrade on 1inch has a way that allow users now to place orders within a time frame. You know, once you go to decentralized exchange, you just swap immediately. But this time around, you could place your orders just like you do in a spot with centralized exchanges, and then you have a time range which you could set, and then this your asset still remains in your decentralized wallet, and then you pay very little or nothing for transaction fee, and this comes with a high security upgrade, staking reward also, and tokenomics, and all of this still leaves your assets on your decentralized wallet. I really see this as a major push and win for not just 1inch, but for the decentralized finance in general.
Exactly, and obviously with all that's happened with centralized platforms in 2022, I guess decentralized platforms might be the winners going into 2023. But we'll keep checking and watching how they grow. Thank you so much, Gilbert Rapata, financial market analyst. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so that's the market today. Not much to cheer in the crypto space, but that's it on the program today. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join us at 1:30 for Business Incorporated for more updates and developments in the world of business. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to give someone a gift, and if you don't get a gift, don't feel bad. You can also gift yourself something. Take yourself out and go have fun. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ladi Williams. Bye for now. Happy holidays.